Alrighty. Howdy Neighbors and welcome back to the Devine Speaker. Last time, Fawn's house was burned down by two men we don't know, but they're already dead, so it doesn't matter. And then we have long red hair guy, who apparently also has a whip instead of just blades, so wow. And he's currently dying, so we're gonna try to help him, I guess. I mean, why not? I've never felt so useless.
He's alive.
We know.
But he's obviously pretty badly injured. We need to get him somewhere we can check and clean his wounds.
In times like this, Fawn seems like a different person. Dependable and strong. Unlike me.
Why didn't it work?
Fawn looked at me for a moment, thinking.
I don't know. Maybe you just can't control it yet. Maybe it was a miracle.
Last time the voices told me to help you. This time they were silent. Anyway.
Carefully I lifted the man on my back. He's so much taller than me, so it's kind of awkward.
Fawn, can you gather his belongings? We can carry him over to the river and check him out.
Yes.
He scurried around, picking up the weapons that lay discarded on the forest floor.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Fawn took one last moment to stare in the direction of his destroyed house. His poor guy. But only one were turning away and following after me. Lugging this guy across the forest is no easy feat. Fawn ended up having to help me with his legs. As they were dragging on the ground, he was groaning and shifting around every time he got caught on a bush. How unappreciative. What a troublesome guy. Eventually we reached the river. What should have been a 15-minute walk slowly became an hour-long struggle. I placed him down to the ground carefully with a sigh.
That took a lot longer than I thought.
It happens.
Yeah, he's way too tall.
The redhead was still out cold. This was a chance to check his wounds properly without him complaining. We look over his exposed arms and stomach again. There's nothing left threatening. Fawn got to work with cleaning the dirt from those wounds while I checked elsewhere. His face, fine. He's actually got pretty nice features, but you could barely tell past his awful expression. He doesn't seem to have any problems. They feel quite muscular too. I felt them for a moment before moving on. I looked again at the small trickle of blood coming out of his mouth.
I guess I should check his mouth?
I asked Fawn for confirmation. He gave me a little nod. Alright, here goes. Put my finger to his mouth. I hate this. His lips were soft. Softer than they ought to be for someone with such nasty language. I parted his lips with my finger and opened his mouth. His eyes shot open. We instantly made eye contact.
You mind getting your fingers out of my mouth?
Oh, of course.
I took my finger out of his mouth and a disgusted look spread over his face. He spat and reached for his belt.
What'd you do with my weapons?
Don't worry, we have them safe.
Oh, I'm not worried about them. You just know what they say. Don't let children near sharp objects and all.
Yeah, I hear that every day. I have literally never heard that before. I know it's true, but I have never heard that.
Especially if that pipsqueak over there has them.
It looks like his attitude wasn't injured. He sat up. It looked like moving took a lot of effort. Right now, he doesn't seem too dangerous.
Listen, you need our help. You obviously can't leave by yourself, so just cut the attitude and let us help you. Why don't we introduce ourselves? My name's Rain, and the one with the light hair over there is Fawn.
And I'm the king of Aurelia Cavella. Fine. Leos.
Hello, Leos.
You should have just left me where you found me. Can't think of anything worse than being indebted to someone like you.
Stop being so unappreciative. We could still leave you here.
Juan walked back over from the river, gathered some water, to clean Leos' wounds.
This might sting a little.
Ouch!
I'm sorry.
Don't be. It serves him right.
I chuckled quietly, as we get for being nasty. While Fawn was busy, we had a moment of silence. Finally, we just asked some questions.
So, what exactly is going on? Did you burn Fawn's house down? Were you with the other two?
He watched me with narrowed eyes, probably deciding if he wanted to bother answering my questions. Eventually, he just sighed.
No point in keeping it secret now. If I go back, they'll just get rid of me anyway. I know they'll look for any excuse. Someone hired me to track you down, and paid well for it, too.
And the other two. The fire.
Yes, I was with the other two, but they were idiots anyway. I'm sure they're burning in hell by now. You can blame them for the fire. I wouldn't do something so showy.
Someone hired you to track me down? Why? Now you're going to stay quiet?
Sorry, I was just admiring how dense you are.
It happens.
To kill you, obviously.
It also happens.
I didn't know about the other kid, though.
He glanced at Fawn.
What? Why would anyone?
No clue. I just follow orders.
Valid. Felt sick. Who could do that to me?
But in the town square.
Whoa, you're not a total airhead after all. I'm amazed.
I love this guy. He's such a dick.
The only instructions I received were to follow you and direct you to the archives somehow. Not the kind of job I'm used to. Any sane person that wanted you dead would have had me assassinate you in your sleep, but money's money. Not my job to ask questions. I thought it would have been more work, but you took the bait easily. You should learn not to trust people.
But I was thrown out because of that. Because of you.
You were thrown out because you're so gullible. That has nothing to do with me.
I mean, kind of.
Maybe you shouldn't believe everything you're told, huh? Anyway, you can blame whoever employed me. I'm not taking the blame for that one.
Then, what do you know about my markings? You said you recognized them.
Absolutely nothing. I just repeated what I was told to say. How am I meant to see something your sleeve is covering? Idiot.
My face flared up. I really do feel like an idiot. Whoever hired him was the one who knew about my markings then. I have two leads. Prince Caspin and Leos' employer. Neither would be easy to find. It's not exactly like I could trapeze or traipse. Wow. It's not exactly like a traipse back home to ask them. What about the prince? Is he even alive? I've never heard about him from anyone. Juan watched me with worried eyes, but still went about cleaning Leos' cuts. Before I could ask anything else, he cut back into the conversation.
I've cleaned up your wounds as best I can. But
He glanced at Leos' mouth.
I think some of them may be beyond us. We need to get help from a healer or a doctor.
How? If either of us enter Aurelia Cavella, we'll be toast.
Well, if we go east, through the forest, we'll eventually get to Stagwitch. Sidcaeum is past that, but it's pretty far away.
Those names again. What is he talking about?
Fawn, I didn't want to say anything before, but maybe you're a little confused from being out here so long. Aurelia Cavella is the only place nearby. Well, the only place full stop. The rest of the world is just forest. You should know that.
You keep saying things like that. Is that really what they told you?
He had a sad look in his eyes.
I'm not sure what they taught you in your hometown, but there's an entire world out here. Cities, villages, nations, people. I've never even heard of Aurelia Cavella.
What do you mean? You've never been there?
I don't think so. It's kind of strange. I remember following the river at one point, but there was a dense fog. and I'd find myself back at my house. I'm starting to believe there's not a village there at all.
Of course there is.
You keep some, interesting company. A crazy, delusional wild forest boy, some kind of cross between a mouse and a fairy.
I'm not crazy. I can't believe that a place with those kinds of teachings could possibly exist.
My book does say something about Sid Kaim, but I don't know. Something strange is going on.
You two might not believe me yet, but like you said, you can't return home, and you need help. You'll just have to trust me this time. I can show you to the edge of the forest, and the two of you can go down and find help. And then I'll try to rebuild, I guess.
When he puts it like that, there isn't really a lot of options. Can't go back, and staying here isn't really an option either. If we just play along, he'll eventually work out that no matter how far we walk, we're not going to get anywhere. I guess being as far away from here as possible would probably be in our favor too.
Okay. I trust you, Fawn. We'll go with you.
He beamed at me. Seems that was the correct answer.
I don't get a say in this?
No.
Nope.
So, we follow the crazy man out into the middle of the forest. Sounds like an amazing plan, and one that definitely won't end in murder.
Yes.
That's funny, coming from you.
Really though. Leos looked kind of delicate up close. Pained expression, dark eyelashes, slim face. Oh my god.
Hey, up close you aren't so bad looking.
That showed him up.
Actually, I wanted to ask, what exactly does that make you then? Why did they hire you?
An assassin, a mercenary, whatever I'm paid enough to be.
He looks away. Seems like he doesn't want to talk about it. I pushed on anyway.
An assassin? They actually exist? Why?
To get rid of unwanted people. Why else?
Valid.
And right now, you're looking very unwanted.
You know, bodies are being dumped out here. Do you know anything about that?
Just full of questions, aren't you?
Valid, yeah. I guess that's the end of his leniency. Answered a lot of my questions though, which is surprising.
I'm finished with your wounds now. Try not to get any more dirt in them.
And here I was, thinking of smearing mud through my cuts. Thank you for your wisdom, O gracious one. How will I ever be able to repay you?
I hate this man. Oh god. Fawn looked away, embarrassed. I'm not great at dealing with people like him, but Fawn's definitely worse. I glared at him, but the cocky grin didn't leave his face.
They won't stop with just sending me. When I don't return, I'll just send someone else.
Then we need to get out of here before anyone else comes. Will you be able to walk? Do you want us to carry you again?
I'm fine on my own.
He tried to stand, but his legs were still unsteady. Finally, with only a little of our unwanted help, he stood up.
If you need to lean on my shoulder while you walk, you can. I don't mind.
I'm not sure I can bend down that far.
Fine. Don't complain when you end up needing my help.
What an asshole. Next to him, Fawn looked like a saint.
It's a bit of a walk to the forest's edge. We should leave now, before it gets too dark.
Fawn motioned in the direction that I presumed was the way we needed to go. For now, we'll follow him. Even if he might be slightly delusional, it's better than staying here. Especially now that we know that others could come after me.
Yeah. I think that's for the best.
Okay then.
Fawn looked at Leos with a concerned expression on his face. It was obvious just from the way he was standing that he was already struggling. I wonder, will he really be okay with the long walk? I wanted to help him, but he won't have a bar of it. He's way too stubborn. Even if I try to reach out and steady him, he flings abuse at me. Whatever then, let him struggle. If he needs help, I want him to ask for it.
Hurry up then. Lead the way, Forest Fairy.
Forest Fairy?
Yeah, the assassin joins the party. We got our rogue.
You prefer mouse, pipsqueak, runt? Glad that's settled then. Gotta move on, unless you want to be caught here. It'd be a laugh watching you two defend yourselves, though. Maybe we should stick around after all.
Poor Fawn. He really can't catch a break. Looked over him apologetically. Why is Leos' attitude so bad? Not holding my breath, but it'd be nice if he could be even a little bit friendly. We're doing all this for him anyway. The least he could do is show some gratitude.
We don't have any supplies now, either.
I didn't think about that. What do we do about food?
We'll have to find water along the way, too. I'm sure we'll stumble across some fresh water, so if we can scavenge berries or something, we should be okay.
What about shelter?
I'm not sure. Hopefully, we can find somewhere under cover.
Less talking, more moving.
Yes, yes, Your Highness.
The last few hours have been extremely slow. We've walked a little more, then walked a little further. Fawn walked silently ahead, scouting out our path and guiding us. All Leos and I could do was follow along behind him. The setting sun casts our surroundings in orange and red. For some reason, this time of day seemed the most sad. When I looked around, it didn't look any different to where we were an hour ago, or 2 hours ago, or 3. But obviously Fawn knew where he was going. Or he thought he was going anyway. I tried not to show it, but Leos must have been in a lot of pain. He didn't fall behind, but he was struggling. If I tried to help him, he'd rush me off and insult me again. After all of this walking, even I felt exhausted. So I almost didn't even want to think about how Leos was feeling.
Fawn, I think Leos and I are getting a bit tired. Maybe we should start looking for somewhere to stay for the night.
He stopped in his tracks to turn to face us. There I was, huffing and puffing, and he wasn't even breaking a sweat. He's really something else.
You might be right. It'll start getting dark soon. I'll see if I can find some place to rest. Wait here for a second.
Before I could blink, he was already halfway up a tree. He climbed it like it was natural.
What is he? Is some kind of monkey?
I thought you were going with mouse.
Do you really trust him?
I looked over at Leos, puzzled. It's the first time we've actually been left alone together. It's pretty awkward, being alone with someone that tried to kill you.
Why wouldn't I?
He lives out here? In the forest? By himself? He's obviously got a few screws loose as well.
He hasn't given me any reason to not trust him. He might have some crazy ideas, but he's the only reason I've survived this long. And he's not as weak as you think he is either. So yeah, I do trust him. He's more trustworthy than some assassin who goes around burning down houses, huh?
Ouch. You wound me.
You wound me.
But that really wasn't...
Guys, I can see some kind of lake to the south of us.
Oh, God! All the water went through my nose. The way that he went... Oh, the way that he just hung down was too funny. I'm sorry. Walnut popped his head out of the tree and waved at us.
All right. That sounds like where we'll be spending the night. Can you lead us there?
Oh, God. That was all kinds of gross.
Of course.
His expression was bright and warm. Seeing him smile like that makes me happy for some reason. He dropped off of the tree gracefully like a cat.
Follow me.
Like we have a choice.
Leos.
Ugh, ow.
I elbowed him lightly in the ribs. Hope it hurt. Oh, this might be a weird topic. I'm kind of interested in what Leos thinks. Maybe he'll know something about what Fawn said last night.
Hey, Fawn. Tell Leos about that kissing thing. And the marriage and love.
Really? Right now?
He flared up again.
Fawn told me that when you want to be with someone forever, you fall in love, get married, and kiss. Have you ever heard of that?
What are you on about?
And when you kiss, you make babies. Is that how they do it at home?
No, no, no. You don't have babies after you kiss.
Oh, then how do you have babies?
Oh my god.
That's obvious. The speaker has something to do with it, of course.
No, seriously? You don't know?
I don't. They don't tell us anything about babies until after we're matched up.
When two people are in love, they, you know, show it physically.
What the fuck is he talking about? Love?
I have no clue. He told me it's something you feel when you look at someone. But all I feel when I look at you is indifference.
I'm flattered. All I feel when I look at you is a desire to trip you over.
That's not very nice.
How can you not know about something like love? I mean, even if you don't know about it, surely it's something you could still feel. You don't have to understand love to feel it. In fact, I think most people don't really understand love. But to not even know of the notion?
Sounds like something a crazy tree-dwelling lunatic would come up with.
Are you sure it's real?
Even the idiot agrees with me.
I do. Because I realized after a little bit, this is a romance game. And I feel like out of the two of them, I'd rather go with Stabby Man.
Of course I'm sure. Before I lived here, everyone around me loved each other. My family loved each other. My parents... my parents loved each other as well. It's normal to grow up surrounded by love.
Yeah, it's normal. His parents. Didn't he mention not knowing them? He turned his face away from us. Maybe best to leave the subject alone for now.
Ah, is this the lake?
Nice. We came out in a small clearing. Weeds and flowers grew by the edge of the lake. Frogs croaking loudly. Fuck yeah. The water's mostly still, apart from a small trickle.
Do you think the water's fresh enough for us to drink?
Who knows what kind of filth grows in a place like this?
Well, some of the water is running, so it should be safe enough to drink.
Really?
Maybe. I'd be a bit more worried if the water was completely still, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
He didn't look entirely convinced. There are many other options around for water, though.
We were lucky to find some so quickly. I wish we could take some with us, though. We still have a long walk ahead of us.
I'll appoint myself as supervisor then. Get on with it.
He plonked himself down on the grass. Typical.
I'll see if I can find anything useful.
One immediately went to work searching through the surrounding bushes.
Hey, Leos. Surely you have something useful in that pack of yours.
Something very useful. Come take a look.
Leaned over and looked at his bag. It's gonna be a punch in the face.
More knives?
What a dick! Smug asshole.
Forget it. You're totally useless.
What's not useful about a few extra blades, huh?
Everything when we're trying to survive out here.
I can think of plenty of ways that a dagger could help you to survive.
Go on.
What?
You're too innocent.
Ugh, how irritating. Why are we bothering to help him again? Looking pretty satisfied with himself. He watched while Fawn and I searched around the area. So he has more daggers after all. Stripping him of his weapons was kind of a waste of time. It makes me feel a little bit uneasy. I don't trust him with them, not even slightly. It would be hard to take them, too. They try to attack us during the night. Who knows? I won't put it past him. But maybe he feels like he owes us and won't try to hurt us. Maybe. It's a really big maybe. By the way he carries himself, I could assume that he knows how to use them well. I don't want to wind up on the receiving end again. When I put my hand in my throat, I could still feel the cut from earlier. It still stung, but it at least was only light. That confrontation could have ended up a lot worse. I dug around the bushes a little and checked around the perimeter. There wasn't much around. Sticks, rocks, the occasional mushroom. I found my way back over to Fawn.
Found anything?
No. I think we're too far from anywhere to find anything here.
I guess we can't take any with us then. Still, at least we can drink now. Leos, if you want a drink, you're gonna have to come get it yourself.
Aren't you supposed to be taking care of me? I mean, you want me to walk all the way over there? By myself?
Yes.
You two sure are useful.
Thank you. He dragged himself up from the grass, biting his lip the whole time. This bite, well, his whole personality, I do feel a little sorry for him. I wish there was something I could do to help.
I'll keep an eye out for more water along the way.
Okay, thanks, Fawn.
I sat down next to the water and looked at my face. It is near still water, my reflection is staring straight back at me. I look bad. I'm filthy, covered in injuries, and I have huge bags under my eyes already. What's happened the last few days? But there's no excuse to look this bad.
Are you okay? Aren't you thirsty?
No, I'm definitely thirsty. A lot's happened lately. I guess I was just trying to process some of it.
No point dwelling on it. Just accept it and move on. You're not the only one that's lost something.
That's true. I stood on my shoulder. Both of them were behind me watching. Lewis crossed his arms over his chest, a strange look on his face. I suppose them have lost important things too.
Yeah, I know.
Dipped my hands into the ice-cold water. Felt fresh and cool against my sweaty skin. Quickly washed my face and had a drink. Just doing that made me feel a whole lot better. Probably check my wounds while I'm at it.
Let me help.
Fawn sat down in front of me, cross-legged. He unwound the cloth that was wrapped around my arm and inspected the wound.
It already looks a lot better. I'll just clean it up a little, then wrap it again.
He raised my chin with his fingertips and took a quick look at my throat. Looks like it was only a scratch after all.
Leos, I can check yours too, if you'd like.
Without complaint, he sat down opposite me. With a straight look on his face, he let Fawn check and clean his wounds again. The whole time he stared at me silently.
So, what happened to your arm? That's not an injury from today.
I looked over at Fawn, the exact same moment he looked at me. What should I say? Why would he care? He shook his head at me. Maybe he thought it was best not to tell him what happened.
I got scratched by a tree when I was walking around at night.
He didn't look convinced. Oh well, I don't have to convince him.
I know you said you didn't know anything about my markings, but have a look again. You might remember something.
I rolled up my other sleeve and showed him the black engravings running up my arm.
When you told me to go to the archives, I found a book with the same markings in it, but I have no clue what it says.
Once Leos's face was serious as he listened to me closely.
The only thing that stood out to me was the name Caspian. I think he could have been the last of the royal family. Maybe he'd be able to read these markings.
Caspian? The last king wasn't Caspian. He never became the king.
What?
Caspian never ascended to the throne.
Still, you know about him? I've never heard a thing about him.
Well, how old are you?
I just came of age, 18.
Well, that'd be why. He wasn't around much then, if at all. He disappeared when you were just a baby. I was
Well, only a kid at the time, too, so I don't know too much about him. All I know is that him and his entire family were all met with untimely deaths.
They died? Did he die too?
Who knows? They didn't find his body, but no one's seen him since either.
My heart dropped. Caspian, he's my only hope.
You don't know that, though. I survived out here. Maybe he's hiding somewhere.
No way. No one could survive out here for that long.
He looked fawn up and down.
No one normal, anyway. Well, anyway, no one knows. And a little stranger, no one talks about it. I mean, you didn't even know he existed, right? Not that I care. It doesn't make any difference to me. Not anymore.
Anymore? Still, that's a good point. I knew that at one point we had a monarchy, a king and a royal family. But I never heard the details. I didn't even know it when it was dismantled. Weird.
So... You're shirted.
Are you talking to me?
Who else would I be talking to? Yes, you.
They both have like the same shirt thing going.
My shirt. I found it.
I lost one. Very similar to that. Not long ago.
I found it on the riverbank near where my house used to be.
How did you lose yours, Leos?
I was washing it in the river.
Seriously?
Oh, it's starting to get pretty dark.
Today felt like a long day.
We've been talking for so long, I didn't even notice it getting darker and darker.
We should probably get some rest.
The further we go, the colder it's going to get. It'd probably be best if we stayed near each other tonight.
He blushed again. It's kind of cute.
You two can huddle together all you want. I'll be fine by myself.
After brushing his clothes off, he quickly left to sleep somewhere outside. I was surprised he didn't agree, but it was still a little rude. With that, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you later.